Again, the rookie leader in assists as you look at Mark Ivoroni in his first season with the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies come in at 14-43, 6-game losing streak. Meanwhile, for the Houston Rockets, Rick Adelman will put Shane Battier, Luis Scola, Dikembe Mutombo, Tracy McGrady, and Rafer Alston on the floor. Rick Adelman, 17 years in the NBA, his first season in Houston. Of course, long tenure in Sacramento. Was let go there, spent a year away from the game, now back here in Houston, taking over for Jeff Van Gundy. And he's been a winner everywhere he has been. Portland, Sacramento, here in Houston, except Golden State had a couple of losing seasons. Of course, the big news, Yao Ming. Beijing Olympics, and it's as a cultural icon, he really needs to be there, but will he be ready for the Summer Olympics in August? That is the question on everybody's minds. And you take a look at what Yao Ming means to the Rockets. 22 points, 11 rebounds, a couple of blocks, and a very good free throw shooter as well. So, Sean, you've got all those 22 points and 11 rebounds. Somebody else has to pick them up.
Well, if the Rockets are going to win, somebody picks them up. And that's the task of the Grizzlies. If the Grizzlies can stop them, then you have a chance of beating the Rockets. So it's going to be interesting. The Grizzlies go small, obviously, by taking one of the three post guys out, putting Brian Cardinal in place. And so you see that, you know, sometimes by doing that, you force the other teams to play the way you want to. Well, the Rockets, instead of, you know, it'd be interesting to see what they do instead of. They may bring Mutombo out early. They may not, you know, use him as much. They use Scola some more. Of course, BC still touts the fact that he's undefeated as a Memphis Grizzlies starter, 1-0 last year against Utah, at Utah, which is a big win.
I think Brian played about 5 minutes, and Eddie Jones hit the game-winning shot in overtime.
It has some details that we'd like to leave a lot of those out. He basically says he's 1-0, so the Grizzlies need a win, stop the road loss, 6-game losing streak, etc. You're going up against a team that is, you know, there's nobody right now playing better or as hot in the winning category right now than the Houston Rockets. So, you know, get the tempo up, make Austin shoot the ball a lot. Shane Battier's been shooting well from three, but you know, challenge him to get a bunch of points. Let Mutombo shoot all he wants. Keep Scola and Tracy McGrady away from the basket.
David Jones tosses it, and we are underway from Houston. Rockets have won those 13 in a row. Last Tuesday against Washington, 94-69 over the Wizards, who were without Caron Butler. Alston, a deep three, and down it goes for Rafer Alston in his 9th season out of Fresno State. Third leading scorer behind Tracy McGrady and Yao Ming for the Rockets.
Well, Austin's having a nice year for him. It's interesting to listen to the coaches. Elston Turner, of course, one of my teammates, he just couldn't talk enough about how hard Rafer's been practicing, playing, leading. I mean, you know, those are things you normally don't get connected with Rafer Alston, but right now, that's what you have, a guy who is towing the corporate line.
Battier shuffles the feet, turns it over, and gives it back to the Grizzlies.
We talked earlier before the game, what was the over and under and how many times Shane made a fake against one of the newer guys from the Grizzlies, goes baseline. Of course, we've seen Shane play so much, we know that that's what he does. And Hack and BC are the only two guys, I guess, that played with Shane that knows he'll fake you 10 times, but he's still going baseline.
Shane in his second year here in Houston, BC for 3, and the Grizzlies 0 for 2 out of the box from downtown. Grizzlies coming off a 127-113 loss Tuesday night to the Phoenix Suns. Houston has taken 2 of the first 3 meetings between these two teams. Grizzlies won early in November, and Austin has hit back-to-back triples, and the Rockets an early 6-0 lead.
Well, shows you what I know. I mean, I really think that is what you still want to do. But Rafer's having a very, very, very nice year.
But by percentages, Austin's only 34% from downtown, and the Rockets as a team, 22nd out of 30 teams. Grizzlies start the game 0 for 3 as Austin works against rookie Mike Conley, coming off his second double-double of his young NBA career against the Suns. Scola, a foul line jumper is in, and Luis Scola starting his 15th game of the season. The Rockets are 13-1 in his first 14 starts. and has hurt the Grizzlies in both Houston victories, and a bad pass and a steal there. Navarro threw it right to Scola. 3-on-2. Alston takes the middle, takes the rim, and flips it up and flips it in.
Well, you know, in the NBA, you don't like to take early timeouts, but I think the Grizzlies have to take one here.
Ray for Alston with 8 of 10 for Houston. The Rockets start 4 for 4. The Grizzlies 0 for 3. A 20-second timeout taken by the Grizzlies. Check it. A full timeout. Grizzlies make it a full timeout. A little more than 2 minutes gone by in the first quarter.
Played a lot. You know, they've tried to bring point guards in to replace him, and he just keeps knocking them off. They finally traded one the other day because
Kirk Snyder was sent to Minnesota. Yeah. And Scola with a takeaway from Cardinal. Scola mishandles, and that sets aside the chance for a Houston break. Grady with the 3 try that hits the shot clock, and the Grizzlies get it back. 9.5 remaining. Well, in the month of February, Rockets 12-0. It'll be the best February in team history. It's only the 3rd time they've had 10 or more wins in the month of February, which, again, you have a shorter schedule because of the All-Star break. They were 10-3 in 2005-2006, and in 81-82 they went 11-3. 12-0, trying to make it a perfect 13-0. Mutombo with a block of Mike Conley. Rick Adelman had a conversation with Mutombo during the Washington game. If you do the finger wag, do it to the sidelines, not to the player you just blocked, or it'll cost you a technical. And Mutombo fouled by Rudy Gay.
Well, Mutombo's been trying to retire. And you know, 4 weeks ago, he was retiring. All of a sudden now, he's starting and he's playing so well, he's saying, you know, I may not retire again. Or I may retire again and come back and play. He can't figure out exactly what it is. But at some point in time, he's got to make a decision. But right now, he thinks he's got one more in him. He's 41, a young 41, and can still block shots. And yeah, he will definitely wave the finger every once in a while, very politely to the bench.
17th season out of Georgetown. Hits both free throws on the season. Now he is 7 of 9 from the free throw line. 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, and the Rockets have scored the first 12. Grizzlies have turned it over twice, and they're 0 for 4 from the floor. Rudy Gay, career-high 36 Tuesday night in the loss against Phoenix. Warwick over Mutombo. And Warwick, who leads the Grizzlies in field goal percentage, cannot connect. Scola, and a foul called on Brian Cardinal, his first. They really like Luis Scola here in Houston, and with good reason. They say that he's a player who thinks several moves ahead.
What a deal, huh?
I still can't figure out why San Antonio gave up on him.
Just said, no, well, I just don't think San Antonio needed him. They had so many. But you're exactly right. I mean, he is a very, very smart player, very heady player.
Shane Battier over Juan Carlos Navarro. Not quite 4 gone by, and it has been all Rockets. 14-0. Juan Carlos puts one in, and the Grizzlies on the board. Juan Carlos had a strong game, 23 against Phoenix, made 6 of 11 from downtown. McGrady, the move to get by Rudy Gay. Rudy reached, and that could have been a second foul had they chosen to call it. All 5 Rocket starters are in the books with points. Juan Carlos got McGrady in the air, and a foul called on McGrady. Non-shooting, says Joe DeRosa. First on McGrady. Rockets swept the season series last year 4-0. Grizzlies won the first meeting this year. Houston has won the subsequent 2, and really it was the win at Memphis on the 28th of December, as Navarro is rejected again, that got the Rockets on this roll. McGrady against Warwick. Rudy Gay is guarding Dikembe Mutombo. Grizzlies electing to go a little bit smaller in the starting lineup tonight. McGrady explodes to the rim, forces it in, was looking for a foul call as well, does not get it. McGrady averaging 21.2 a game, and the 2-time scoring champ has the Rockets up 16. Warwick.
Well, Hack's going to have to hit that. You see Mutombo's not even guarding him, and for that reason Mutombo's playing the entire inside line. Right now the Grizzlies are just getting it handed to him. 20-2, and And it's an ugly 20-2. Grizzlies have to take another timeout.
Grizzlies had taken a full. This will be a 20-second timeout. Grizzlies 1 of 8, and the Rockets are 8 of 9. You know that those percentages will not last for the game. But
you got to start making points. You just got to find ways to get the ball in the basket.
Let's see if the Grizzlies attack the rim. Mutombo's out of the ball game. Rudy airmails that one. Hakeem crashes the offensive glass, and Scola wrestles it away. Mutombo is out of the ball game, and Chuck Hayes is on. It is third season out of Kentucky. Alston. Ray for Alston is season high is 23. He has 11 here in the first quarter. Alston had bounced around the league. Teams were not always enamored of his attitude or his work ethic, but here in Houston he has blossomed, and a lot of guys like playing for Rick Adelman. Bonzi Wells, who struggled throughout his career. Grizzlies turn it over again. Scola on the pickup. McGrady's running the wing, and that was about the worst lob pass I've ever seen. Alston trying to hit McGrady. Even Bonzi Wells, who struggled with his attitude from time to time as Cardinal buries a triple, worked well with Rick Adelman. Scola back quickly the other way, and Cardinal knocks it free. 5:41 remaining. Darko Milicic enters the ball game for the Grizzlies. Brian Cardinal will sit down. BC making his first start. Darko, Sean, had a very strong game against Phoenix. 15.7 rebounds in just 21 minutes.
Well, that was a careless play by the Grizzlies. Didn't look up. Tracy McGrady's got the ball 5 minutes back. He's the one guy you can never lose.
Warwick. And the Grizzlies, playing from the edges right now, have started 2 for 11. McGrady works behind the screen. Navarro the rebound. Rudy against McGrady. Rudy not good with the dribble. McGrady the pickup. And McGrady has 8. So the starting backcourt for Houston with 19 points, 11 by Alston, 8 for McGrady. They're a combined 8 for 10 from the floor. Lowry against Alston, and there's the toughness and speed that you alluded to when Kyle entered the ball game. Kyle averaging 8.5 points a game.
Well, Kyle's just not going to, back down from anybody. And the Grizzlies, because they have 6 fouls at point guard, I think it's a good move. You got to break the rhythm up of the team when they're in a rhythm like the Rockets. Now, they're obviously putting it to the Grizzlies right now, but they've done this for the last 13 games, so you have to go out, find some way, and I think to make it sloppy from here on in is what you need to do, and that's a good move by Kyle earlier and a good move by Kyle right here. So good substitution with Kyle Lowry in the game, and what you also have to do as a coach, sometimes you're trying to find 5 guys to play together, but right now you just got to keep fresh guys, because when your spirit's broken, then sometimes you think your legs are not there also. So keep guys fresh, keep them on their best, and then kind of plug away at this thing. I mean, you almost now, Pete, look to halftime. You're down 20 first quarter. Your goal at halftime is down 10. So, fight through the first quarter, grind it out second quarter, get within 10, and then, you got a story to tell at halftime. Got to make free throws there.
That last foul on Alston, he was called for the reach. Chuck Hayes was there defensively, but the foul on Alston was his first. Well, you talked about the Rockets and what they've been doing to people. They held Washington to a franchise low, 23 points in the first half of the game on Tuesday night. They led it wire to wire. Navarro for 3.
Good rebound by Darko. Good push by Kyle. Good finish by Juan Carlos. You got to take victory small in a situation like this, and that's a very good victory that time. It's a good defensive possession and a good offensive possession. Got
the crowd quiet for a moment. McGrady one-on-one against Rudy Gay. Alston gets the screen from Scola. 4 to shoot for McGrady. He elevates from 3.
So you got Houston kind of relaxed right now, and the game's not over. There's a lot of 20-point leads have been lost in the NBA. So push the ball up. Good job by Kyle. Looking ahead. Don't get greedy. If there's a shot early, you go ahead and take it. Good job by Juan Carlos knocking it down.
Navarro, the Grizzlies leading scorer with 5. Rudy to the baseline. Trying to bring it to Milicic, and the Grizzlies with the turnover, their 6th of the quarter. Alston played formerly with the Milwaukee Bucks, Toronto, Miami. And an offensive 3-second call against Houston. And to your point, sometimes you get out to a big lead, you get a little careless with the subtle points, and Scola in the lane. That's the 4th Houston turnover.
Well, NBA games are long, Pete, and you're forced to make quick possessions because of the shot clock. So 20-point leads early, you can overcome those.
Warwick against Chuck Hayes. Rudy working against Battier. Those two players will be forever linked, essentially traded one for the other. Grizzlies turn it over, but then get it back. They did reset the shot clock, because the Rockets did have control of the basketball. Darko, tough chance off the glass, and Warwick with the offensive rebound on the putback. Hakeem Warwick, since being inserted into the starting lineup, 20 points and 9 rebounds a game.
Good job by Hack. Pete just hadn't had anything fall up until now, and maybe that'll get him started. Tough matchup down low for Juan Carlos against Shane, posting him up on the block.
Out of the double team, finds Scola cutting to the rim. Shane slapped us on the back during the pregame show, nearly knocked out a couple of Fillings.
Well, you heard me. In fact, I got an IR request in through the ring.
Foul called on Luis Scola. Timeout. Rockets will take it with 2:01 remaining.
Now on the bright side, they were 20-12 without him a year ago.
Thanks, Rob. Javaris Crittenden is in for the Grizzlies in the backcourt with Kyle Lowry, Luther Head, and Bobby Jackson. A new backcourt for the Rockets. Rudy down the lane, flips it up and off. It's boarded by Chuck Hayes. We're at the Toyota Center in downtown Houston. The Rockets riding a 13-game winning streak. The Grizzlies a 6-game losing streak. With Rob Fisher and Sean Toohey, I'm Pete Pranica. Glad you are with us. Bobby Jackson, formerly of the Memphis Grizzlies and the New Orleans Hornets, hits right off the bat. That's what Bobby Bucket does. For the season, Bobby 7 points per game. Foul on Chuck Hayes.
You look at the trade, Houston sent, obviously Bonzi Wells, who, sometimes people question it because it's a real nice move by Kyle with the finish, but they question because Bonzi's so good in the playoffs offensively. But, Adelman knows what Bobby Jackson can do. He knows his temperament. He knows when you need baskets, and, playoff time, Bobby's made plenty of them. So, it really made a lot more sense when you see Bobby Jackson fitting this, in the whole formation of the team and rotation. And I think Adelman, it's kind of like that security blanket.
Luther Head double clutches on a 3. May have been deflected. Loose ball picked up by Battier and scooped in. 1 minute remaining first quarter. A 33-15 lead for Houston. Darko has it stripped. Rockets very active hands here in the first quarter. Bobby, of course, spent a year with the Grizzlies, averaged double figures, and Hayes finding Luis Scola and everything coming up about as well as it possibly could for the Houston Rockets. 71.5% from the floor, and the lead back to 20.
You sure? You might want to check that one again.
15 of 21. They've only missed 6. It has been that kind of ball game, and the Rockets, there's an energy and a certain amount of focus as Mutombo comes in the ball game, returns, and the rookie Carl Landry is on for the first time tonight, the rookie out of Purdue. There's a focus because they realize what they're missing with Yao, and they're on a winning streak, and it just breeds more and more confidence. Shot clock at 5, and Warwick fills it up. A tough shot over Landry.
Remember, he got that little tip in, and we said, okay, he hadn't made one since then. He got the tip in. Now he's hit a nice bucket. Hack's ready to start going. You're exactly. I think the sense of urgency now that, Yao Ming's not there also is adding to the Rockets' play right now because there's nobody to fall back on. They know they all have to play well.
Bobby Jackson wide right. And just laid up and laid in at the horn. They will count it as a good basket. That's what David Jones has. Lowry and Crittenden in the backcourt. Warwick, Milicic, and now Cardinal on the front line. And BC his second triple of the night. Brian Cardinal for the season shooting 35% from long range, averaging 3.5 points a game.
Pretty good matchups now on the floor for the Grizzlies. You've got potentials of some good defensive plays. You got Hack that's a little bit long for Landry, and need to say a little experience. You got BC, who's got a little size on Shane, which is nice, and Crittenden on Luther Head, Bobby Jackson. You know, this is the best matchup man for man since the beginning of the game if you're a Grizzlies fan, and I think you saw a nice bucket by BC, a nice steal by Hack. It's a lot better start to the second quarter, needless to say, than the first quarter.
Rockets hit 8 of their first 9 to start this ball game. As far as Crittenden, the rookie from Georgia Tech, with a runner, boarded by Mutombo, and a loose ball foul called on the Grizzlies.
It's okay. I think, as I said, I think you got to make it sloppy. You know, right now, you know, Houston's playing so pretty that you got to make it ugly somewhere and take them out of their rhythm. And this is part of it. You got 18 fouls at post. Go ahead and use a bunch of them.
Mutombo and Darko, and Mutombo with words for Darko, and cooler heads prevail. And Mutombo barking at anybody who will give him a sympathetic ear, and Joe DeRosa steps in and says that'll be enough of that. And a double technical foul on
Good call.
Darko and Dikembe.
You have to cool them off, and they weren't cooling off themselves. Darko and Dikembe got the push in. There's a little elbow. Darko didn't like it. Darko a little shoulder. Yeah, that's good basketball. Good call by the refs. Dikembe's got to cool down a little bit. He's been in this league a long time. And it's good.
It's at that particular moment that Dikembe's humanitarian side does not come out.
Well, that's why he's valuable, though. He gets things rough in the middle and does a nice job.
And Brian Cardinal commits the foul against Shane Battier. Foul on BC is his second. It'll put Shane on the free throw line. 61 seconds into the second quarter. BC, in case you're just checking in, got the start tonight. Grizzlies started a small lineup. Cardinal in his 8th season out of Purdue. Asked him about how his young son Bryson was doing. He said he's a regular chatterbox, a lot of mommy, a lot of daddy. Not sure if BC has taught him how to say zone or man-to-man or anything like that yet, but you know that'll come.
We're hoping his mama teaches the little one how to brush his hair, because not a lot of practice with dad.
Of course, Danielle and BC will host Stackstacular coming up next Friday night at the Stax Music Academy. Looking forward to that. Always a good time. Rudy Gay and Mike Conley will also host. Darko short with a hook. Loose ball plucked out of the air by Hakeem Moore.
Good hustle by Darko, keeping it alive. Grizzlies get a new shot clock.
Kyle Lowry will try his luck from 3 and knock it in, and that's one of the few things that the Grizzlies have done with great regularity here tonight. They've hit 4 of 6 from long range.
Keep plugging, keep making shots, keep making stops on the offensive end. On the defensive end, you can't look at the score. You just got to keep playing.
Luther Head with that unorthodox looking jump shot, and Warwick with an emphatic rebound. Crittenden works against Luther Head. Warwick, that little shake and bake, looks a little bit like Hakeem Olajuwon in the Dream Shake. Since we're here in Houston, we'll drop that one.
Very, very nice.
39-23. Rockets at 67% from the floor. Grizzlies at 36%. Trying to work their way back into it. Mutombo wheels through the lane. Darko got a piece of it. Darko averaging just under 2 blocks a game. There's a lob for Warwick from Crittenden. And then a double team forms Landry, and Mutombo there to turn aside Warwick.
Well, good hustle by Mutombo. Missed the shot, got back down, and basically, forced the bad shot by Hakeem.
Battier down the lane, has it stripped, picked up by Cardinal.
Well, Brian did a Battier back to Battier, didn't he? That's what Shane's famous trick is, to catch the basketball on its way up.
Lowry with the miss, knocked out of bounds by Darko. Both teams a little loose with the basketball, 7 turnovers aside.
Well, the Grizzlies going to put Rudy Gay back in, and Rudy's had time to sit on the bench and realize that he's got to play a lot better. But more importantly, he's got to engage a lot more, in the sense that he's got to go find the basketball. He's got to be the focal point of the offense instead of kind of sitting around watching everyone else play.
Landry set a good screen. Jackson couldn't put it down. Grizzlies looking to run. Bobby Jackson is back, and a blocking foul call on Bobby Buckets.
Well, I just love how Kyle Lowry's coming in the game and just basically is taking the Grizzlies and put them on his
FedEx form. Grizzlies heading to the Windy City. Saturday night date at home against the Utah Jazz. Grizzlies looking for their first road win against Southwest Division competition. They're 2-13 against the division overall. Both wins coming at home, one over Houston and one over San Antonio on the Rudy Gay 3 as time expired back in December. That also marking the last time the Grizzlies enjoyed a win over a team above 500. Rudy Gay elevates over Shane Battier. Mutombo with a rebound. The hard thing for Rudy right now, Sean, is that he's going to see a double or triple team every time down the floor. There's no Mike Miller to draw defensive attention away from Rudy Gay. And really the fact that he scored 36 against Phoenix, remarkable. Mutombo the dunk against Cardinal.
Well, but he's got to get used to it, so he can't back away from it. He's got to learn how to play with, you know, two guys focusing in on everything that he does.
Cardinal tried to reverse. Mutombo got a piece of it and also got a piece of Cardinal. BC to the line for a pair. Foul on Mutombo is his first.
Nice little pick and roll. You saw Brian use what you have to do if you, especially against a guy like Mutombo. Watch what Brian does, Pete. He uses the rim as a defender. He goes up. See how Mutombo can't go to the other side? He's so tall. Brian uses the rim as kind of a screen to get Mutombo out of the way. Brian Cardinal, 7 points. Nice job. And you have to, you know, last time Kyle Lowry got on the free throw line, missed two. You know, now's the time to do a lot of things. One, to relax, except for the shooter. The shooter has to stay focused because when you're coming from behind against a team playing well, you have to make all your free throws.
And Cardinal, throughout his career, a good free throw shooter. 77% on the season, makes a pair. He's got 8. His season high is 10. And the Grizzlies with pressure in backcourt. And Kyle Lowry called for a hand check foul against Shane Battier. For Kyle, that will be his first. Grizzlies' 4th team foul. And it comes with 8:16 remaining. So the Grizzlies' 14 fouls as you look at Mark Ivoroni setting the Memphis defense. And the Rockets with 3 team fouls. So free throws could be a big item here in the second quarter. Hakeem Warwick guarding Mutombo this trip down. Luther Head, offensive foul. Bobby Jackson, the dish and crash. Bobby Jackson, after setting up Luther Head, committing his 3rd foul, an offensive foul, and it goes down as the 8th turnover for the Rockets tonight.
Real good help by Javaris. And normally in the NBA, you help and recover because guys are such good shooters, especially Luther Head. But that time Javaris held his ground, and I don't think Bobby realized that Javaris was going to stay put. Ran right over him. Grizzlies get another turnover. Fighting back here second quarter. Got a little life.
Yep, it was Ray Alston who got Houston off to the good start. He's back on. Javaris Crittenden to the rim.
Well, that's a nice shot right around Dikembe Mutombo. So I'm giving a little head fake, then got right to the backboard.
You have the 5th youngest player in the NBA against the oldest on that matchup.
There are people younger than Javaris. You probably know all 5.
Kevin Durant is one of them. Luther Head the miss and a loose ball called on Battier. Nope, they're going to call this on Mutombo as Brian Cardinal ended up at the stanchion. Second on Mutombo as we take another look at Javaris Crittenden.
Now watch Javaris's head. This is how you freeze him. He looked away and he froze Mutombo, then just raced him to the backboard. Instead of going straight to the rim where Mutombo was headed, he went right to the backboard. That's a nice little move and didn't break up his rhythm.
McGrady in for Battier. Scola also back on the floor. Crittenden, the dish to Warwick. Nicely done, Javaris Crittenden.
Best minutes as a Grizzly, don't you think? I like what he's doing. He scored 10 points, etc. But this is, you know, this is a tough situation to come in. Team's down 20, and they put you in to give him energy, and Javaris answers.
Well, you see the shooting percentages here in the second quarter. The Rockets getting kind of comfortable. It had been a 9-2 run until Tracy McGrady decided to spoil the fun. 43-29. Grizzlies creeping back into it, trailing by as many as 22. Crittenden has an alley and finishes. Javaris Crittenden has had 3 double-figure scoring games this
splits. Look at that. That's a split. See how he threw the ball ahead, Pete? Watch that finish. It's a hang. You split a double team. You don't dribble through it. You push the ball through, and then you run after it. That's exactly what Javaris did. The last 3 possessions have been all Javaris Crittenden.
Crittenden, the 19th overall pick, selected by the Lakers, coming to Memphis in the Pau Gasol deal.
If you look out on the court, if you're the Grizzlies, you got some grinders out there right now, and I think that's what the Grizzlies needed. Obviously, Javaris is a guy who'll get in there. BC obviously is that. Kyle Lowry and Hack. Now Rudy's there to add the punch that he didn't give in the first quarter. I still think he has it in him. Look at Kyle jump in front. Grizzlies playing good basketball this quarter.
Took it away from Ray Ralston, speeds to the bucket and draws the foul. He'll go to the line for a pair. Kyle Lowry making a difference. 13 minutes on the floor so far, 8 points and a couple of assists and a chance to get to the free throw line. Missed a pair earlier, 1 of 3 tonight, and goes back to the stripe for the season. He is 73%. You talk about scrappers and tough guys. Only 2 players for the Grizzlies have played in every game. Kyle is one, Juan Carlos is the other.
Well, and Kyle's coming off a year where it was such a freak injury that it wasn't, a yard sale type thing. No one really even knew he got hurt. You could see him grabbing his hand in the next game, actually. And man, that was a bad sight. Well, come back this year, certainly he's in the best shape probably he's ever been in. And he can play a bunch of minutes for you.
Brady and the Rockets have seen the lead pared in half from 22 to 11. And right now the Rockets doing a lot of standing around. McGrady, wild miss. Boarded by Lowry.
Hack did a nice job, got in front of him. Knocked that in.
Rudy's got a clean look from 3 off the back iron.
Well, that gets you to single digits and probably a timeout from Houston and some pretty good moral victories so far, but you just can't be satisfied making the run. You got to finish it.
Alston spoons out a 3. Again, the Grizzlies with a chance to make it a single-digit ball game. Crittenden sends it, can't score it. Boarded by Chuck Hayes.
Well, heat check maybe.
He was feeling good about himself.
He sure was.
Confidence is the name of the game. Crittenden nearly the knockaway against Alston. Chuck Hayes and Cardinals called for the foul. Chuck Hayes to the free throw line. Cardinal with his 3rd foul. Stories about a guy who was never drafted, was invited to the Houston camp, and that's an interesting free throw motion.
That was almost a mulligan, huh?
I thought Eli Rowe was going to say that's a balk. You can't do that.
Watch, he does it again, though. This is his motion. He struggles at the free throw line. Whoa!
I can't understand why.
But he's got good rotation, and everybody laughs, and he's 2 for 2.
Those, believe it or not, just his 12th and 13th free throws of the year. He's now 5 of 13 from the line.
I think he declines the penalties when they get called on him.
He might. Well, the Grizzlies are over the foul limit. So are the Rockets, for that matter. 6 on the shot clock for Rudy Gay. Can't hit over McGrady. Collins with the tap. Rudy Gay 0 for 5. But to finish the thought about Chuck Hayes, came to training camp, was cut, finishes there. They later signed him to a 10-day. They can't keep him off the team.
And can't keep him off the court.
Yeah.
He always finds his way on the court, and he always plays well.
Jay Crittenden, a little show and go to the rim. Nicely done, Javaris Crittenden. 6 points in 9 minutes, 3 of 5 from the floor. Keeping the Grizzlies in at 47-34. Well, Hayes, by and large, had been a starter until they put Scola in the starting lineup. They've won 13 of 14 with Scola starting the ball game. Luther Head out of Illinois with a 3-point miss, and here come the Grizzlies. Rick Adelman, crossed arms, furrowed brow, has seen his team go from 22 up to 13 up as the Grizzlies have steadily chipped away. Collins loses it. Hayes on the pickup. Breakout attempt. Crittenden back against Luther Head, but commits the foul. Head to the line for 1 plus the penalty. Foul on Javaris is his 1st.
Well, if you're looking for a motor, Javaris has it. What you worry is that sometimes guys with that energy won't tell you when they're tired, especially when things are going well. And when you're a coach or you're the assistant coaches on the bench, when a player makes that play, which is, nothing but a tired play, that's when you almost have to go, all right, Javaris has given us some great minutes. Let's rest him, because obviously that was a tired move, because coach just asked him, you doing all right? He said, yeah, I'm doing great. Well, he's looking for an oxygen tank. It's the most minutes he's played in a long time.
He turned 20 on New Year's Eve. And I think that's part of the coach, I'm fine.
Yeah.
We'll have to drag him off the floor. Lost it out of bounds. Last touch by Luther Head, who split the last pair of free throws, 48-34, Houston. Of course, Javaris and Thaddeus Young. That was a real good combo at Georgia Tech. Now both of them in the NBA. And Thaddeus Young has turned out to be a beast for Maurice Cheeks and the Philadelphia 76ers. Warwick against Hayes. Mark Ivoroni looking for a foul call, gets none. Here comes McGrady. And the shot clock never started. Neither did the game clock. It was 3:47 when they put it in play. And Tracy McGrady with 10. Hayes will put it in play for the Rockets. Houston scored the first 10 of the ball game. Grizzlies called the timeout. Lead has been as many as 22. And a jump ball at center court. Anytime the ball sticks between the backboard and the goal, we jump it up.
And they go to center court, Pete, so there's no advantage. I like this. You know, high school, college, they just do alternating possession, and it just sometimes you get the ball back when you've shot an absolute solid brick. I just don't see how that's right, but because of the alternating possession rule, there's no solution to it. I like what the NBA does. Pick who you want, stick them in the middle, and let's play basketball.
McGrady against Gay. David Jones will toss it in his 19th season.
Good job.
We're at the Toyota Center in downtown Houston. Rockets going for a 14th consecutive win in a perfect February, leading the Grizzlies 48-34 with our sideline reporter Rob Fisher and Sean Tui. I'm Pete Pranica. Glad you're with us on FSN South. You're watching FSN South and FSN South HD. Tonight's game being presented in high definition. Rudy Gay sees a triple team off the side of the board.
Question. Great defense that time by T-Mac. Great defense.
Luther Head yet to score from the floor, gets clobbered by Jason Collins, and will go back to the free throw line moments ago. He had 1 of 2 from the free throw line. A Grizzlies timeout. 2:54 remaining in the first half. Rockets lead it by 14. Rudy Gay.
A lot more of those. Pete, the problem now, Grizzlies, you look up down 14. If you remember when it was 20 plus early first quarter, I said, you know, look far ahead to halftime, get it to 10, you got a chance. And the Grizzlies got it to 11 and then relaxed a little bit. Well, you know, the chase is important, but you can't be satisfied in the chase. You have to go ahead and get over that hump and get to the conquer. And right now the Grizzlies have 2:51 left, down 16. You have a chance to get it to 10, but you got to gear it back up. It's a tough hill, but you got to keep climbing it.
Rockets have been very good when leading through 24 minutes. 19-3 in this building this season when leading at the break. Warwick will try for 3 and come up with air. Grizzlies 4 of 8 from long range. Rockets are 3 of 10. McGrady will try from 3 and put it in. Tracy McGrady on the season just 32% from downtown. And the Grizzlies down 19. Lowry takes it right at Ray for Alston. Crittenden can't tip. Lowry, the offensive rebound. Boy, you talk about a bulldog. That's Kyle Lowry single-handedly making that possession pay off for Memphis. Kyle has 11. He averages 8.5.
Well, I remember when he played at Villanova, that backcourt they had, Pete, nobody wanted to play him because they were worried not only would you score, but you may not get him across half court.
McGrady, offensive foul. Jason Collins, credit to him for standing in and taking the charge from McGrady.
Well, we talk about, you know, the energy that Kyle's brought. Mike Conley was struggling a little bit with Ray for Austin, but here's a move by Kyle that should have been a foul. He doesn't care, doesn't talk to anybody. Watch this. This is mine, Scope. Get out of the way. Look, he threw him and the basketball on the ground and finished. Look, no talking, no nothing. Runs back, plays defense.
Well, the overtime win that the Grizzlies had against the Clippers, Kyle had the offensive rebound in overtime that essentially decided it. Crittenden, a spin move off the glass, and Javaris Crittenden putting on some good moves.
Some tough guys on the floor. Made it ugly.
When you're down 22, tough guys, that's what you need.
Exactly what you need.
Alston, nice dish to Hayes. Chuck Hayes only averages 3 a game. His primary value to Houston is rebounding. Grizzlies need to get Rudy Gay going. Grizzlies leading score with nothing offensively in the first half. Warwick against Hayes. A double team and a knockaway by Luther Head, and then Akeem Warwick commits a loose ball foul trying to get it back.
Well, that's a loose ball foul too, Pete. That'll end up in some free throws. It was actually a good call Hack made a nice move, and Houston guessed that he was going to pivot, come to the middle, and knocked the ball loose and went for it, and Hack grabbed him as he went for it.
Rockets 4th best in the league in points allowed, only 92 a game. So everybody thinks about Rick Adelman as being a great offensive coach. Well, you know what? This team can play some defense too. As we remind you, the Best Damn Sports Show period is the greatest nightly sports show on television. Your hosts are Chris Rose, John Sally, Rob Dibble, and Rodney Peete. Tonight, Best Damn Hooters Dream Girl 2, the Best Damn Sports Show period, weeknights at 10 Central, only on FSN South. Luther Head now with 5 of 6 from the free throw line. The lead back to 19. Under a minute remaining, and Kyle Lowry just refuses to take no for an answer. 13 first half points.
You saw Scola turn his back and run after his man, so Kyle used Scola as a pick that time. And went right down his back, and we never saw him coming. By the time he saw it, it was too late.
The Crittenden-Lowry pairing has been good for the Grizzlies here in the second quarter. Alston with a wild shot off the glass. 8 difference between the two clocks. Rudy over Scola. Tip no. Rebounded Chuck Hayes. Shot clock is off for Houston. Luther Head says, I don't care, I'm shooting a 3. Luther Head's first field goal of the night in 5 tries gives him 8. McGrady with 5 assists, 13 points.
Tracy McGrady passed up a shot that time. Saw Luther Head open, and Luther's been struggling a little bit.
And Kyle Lowry draws a blocking foul from Chuck Hayes.
I think Chuck's feet were on the charging foul circle. If we have a replay, it'd be great to see. Here's a good example of what is or isn't a charging foul. Let's see. Ooh.
He was there.
Just as we said, his feet weren't on the circle. He just didn't get there to actually. I think that was a call that favored the Grizzlies that time.
Well, what happens is if there is a call that is essentially a tie, the benefit of the doubt goes to the offensive player. The problem is Kyle Lowry only 2 of 6 from the free throw line. Hits one with 3.7. 19 seconds remaining. Grizzlies extend defense into backcourt, and Tracy McGrady, interesting choice by the Rockets.
He figured they'd had enough.
I guess they decided to take a knee.
Waiting for the screen, getting the ball, and then looking to go rip the ball baseline to try to draw some fouls.
Coach, good luck second half.
Thank you.
Rudy Gay with the first shot of the third quarter and airmailed it. Tracy McGrady down the line, lobs for Mutombo. Cardinal stripped it, ball loose, picked up by Warwick. Grizzlies have to make it happen on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively. Mike Conley, just 5 minutes in the first half. Cardinal hit a couple of threes, another one on the way. And Mutombo with a rebound. Mutombo with 11 rebounds already. Rafer Alston was the guy who got Houston off to the good start. McGrady fills it up. Tracy McGrady against the Grizzlies, averaging 29 a game. Well, even gave you a fist bump to start the third quarter. I thought that was rather interesting. And he waited for me to finish introducing the interview and wanted to fist bump me. I am not sure what that was all about, but Warwick with a miss.
Well, Grizzlies started now second half exactly how the first quarter was. Had some good looks. Nothing goes down. And then on the other end, T-Mac was just very easy on that last jumper, and that's bad when he gets in his comfort zone.
Alston misfires from 3. Battier with a back tap of the rebound. Houston out rebounded the Grizzlies 30-16. Battier working against Navarro, and Juan Carlos the blocking foul. That will be his first personal foul. Rockets have had 6 wire-to-wire wins this season. This would be number 7 as they lead it by 21, 62-41. McGrady, probably an underrated distributor of the basketball, 5 assists. Battier with a leader, banked it in and was fouled. Juan Carlos with 2 quick fouls here at the top of the third quarter. Battier, a 3-point opportunity for the Rockets. Shane in double figures, he has 10. A little grab and
good finish.
a little contact, not a whole lot.
Well, when you grab a hand, you know, your referees, I think you have to call it because that's too much of a potential that can mess up with the shot. Shane missed the free throw. Grizzlies have to come down, regroup. I still think you got to go to Rudy till he knocks a couple down. You know, you can't let him go this long without scoring.
Juan Carlos, Battier deflects. 3-on-2. Alston against Conley. Tapped by McGrady, nearly went in. And Alston quicker to the ball. Fresh shot clock for Houston, and Mutombo now just crossing half court. McGrady out of the double team. Battier, that's his favorite spot for three. Got none. Long rebound, Juan Carlos. Warwick against Mutombo. Conley cutting down the lane.
Good pass by Hack. Spread the middle out. Steal the inbounds pass by Mike Conley. Good job, Mike.
Cardinal. That pass deflected, ends up with Warwick. A shake, a bake, up under. Mutombo says no. He says go twice. Rudy for three. Down it goes. What a sequence. Mutombo blocking twice, and Rudy ends up with his first field goal of the night, and it is a three.
Well, I guarantee you Hack would have given up those two to get Rudy started. And so, you know, you look at a negative on 2 blocks and good finish that time by Rudy.
Scola got by Cardinal, was looking for help, got none. Scola with 8. Juan Carlos, his 3-try blocked by Battier. This is a Houston team that is 4th in the league, averaging 5 blocks a game. Rudy with a knockaway. Scola on the pickup will go to the free throw line. Foul on Brian Cardinal is his 4th. BC making his first start of the season. And Scola to the free throw line. Scola was the most valuable player of the Tournament of the Americas held in Las Vegas. Argentina taking the silver medal. So he and Manu Ginobili and the rest of the Argentinian national team in Beijing to try to defend their 2004 gold medal. Cardinal out of the ball game. Darko Milicic is in. And what's on the line for Rudy Gay has scored in double figures in a career best 27 consecutive games. The last time he didn't would be the last time the Grizzlies played Houston.
Well, he's knocked one down. He'll get going right now.
Conley over Alston. It's long, and Rafer there for the rebound. Scola up under, and a foul called, and Rudy's got to be careful. Swatted at the ball, knocked it to the seats. Foul on Rudy is just his 2nd, and Scola will go back to the free throw line.
Well, here's his value. You talked about, Pete, how he's ahead of the play. Well, that's a good up and under. Knew he had a jumper in front of him. Not a big, tall guy that would have stayed his ground and tried to maybe take the charge. Instead, Rudy goes for the block, and Scola realizes it.
1 of 2, and then Scola trying to get the rebound back from Darko Milicic, commits the foul. Foul on Scola is his 2nd, first team foul. As popular as basketball has become in Argentina, somebody asked Scola, well, is basketball the most popular sport? Is Javaris Crittenton checks in and hits. He said, no, football.
That's not a chance.
They love their football in Argentina. With basketball running a very strong 2nd. Alston for 3 behind a Scola screen. Battier an offensive rebound. Tip won't fall. Darko clears.
I'm sure Alston's certainly hadn't hit a 3 since he hit those ones right there in the first quarter.
Crittenden has that one sent back. Warwick clobbered and will go to the free throw line. Foul on Mutombo. 3 on Dikembe.
Good job, but you can see that's what Dikembe does. He covers so much space. You have to get into him and get some separation. That's what you have to do. You get into him, then you create the separation. Good job by Hack.
Mutombo, a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, the first one ever to be a 4-timer with that honor. Warwick with 7. Hit for 20 or more in 5 of the last 7 games. Those 7 games have all been starts. An offense has been hard to come by for the Grizzlies tonight. 35% from the floor. Grizzlies now 7 of 11 from the free throw line. Warwick with 8. Shot clock down to 10 for McGrady. McGrady against Rudy. That's all-star caliber play. And McGrady, for all the conversation there has been about a greater burden on his shoulders, doesn't look like he's being borne down by that burden. Another deflection and a knockaway 3-on-2. Scola down the middle, a scoop and a score for Luis Scola.
Basketball never touched the ground, Pete, the entire fast break. Boy, that was picture perfect.
15 fast break points for the Rockets.
Somebody make the call other than me.
Let's go over to Rob Fisher.
Well, Dikembe Mutombo again blocking some shots tonight. After Yao Ming announced he was lost for the season, the 41-year-old said he was ready not just to play down the stretch, but considering a return for another last season of his career next year. Said he has to think about it, talk to his wife and kids and Coach John Thompson and see how everybody feels about it. He says right now just trying to finish the season, make the playoffs, maybe get a chance to win a championship. He's been a terrific ambassador for the game. As a matter of fact, he was last year honored as the international recipient for the National Civil Rights Museum Sports Legacy Award in Memphis. The oldest player with 20 or more rebounds in a game, had 22 earlier this year at Denver at the age of 41, guys.
Dikembe knocks that one out of bounds. He has a dozen here tonight. And Mutombo building a hospital in Africa, named it after his mother. He is just a horrible, horrible guy to have to play against, but a wonderful human being.
He covers so much space. That's how you beat him, if you can knock that shot down, because he won't come out and guard you. Unfortunately, that's a shot Hacks hit all year, but not tonight.
McGrady, the no-look pass to Alston. Battier hot potatoes on the baseline. Scola to the spin, blocked by Darko. That's why Luis Scola is in the starting lineup, and they've won 13 of 14 with him in the starting lineup. Scola with 15. Midway point of quarter number 3 in Houston. And the Rockets up 25, their largest advantage of the night. Crittenden down the lane, double clutches. Scoots doesn't score, but he's fouled. And we'll go to the free throw line. Another foul on Mutombo. Foul on Mutombo. That will be his 4th. And
that's as pretty as you can do it with a big guy running the middle. What I like that Scola did is he didn't say, well, I'm in the middle, I'm going to act like I'm a point guard. He didn't want it. And that's what you want to do if you're a big man. I don't care if you're in the right spot, still get rid of it. Let a guard make the decision. And that's all Scola did, was put the ball in a guy's hand that's used to making that decision on the run. The ball ends up right back to him for a layup. That was a great replay, as pretty as they come.
Javaris Crittenden misfires on the first free throw. Rockets with 16 assists on their 28 field goals, 6 apiece from Rafer Alston and Tracy McGrady. Grizzlies now at 54% from the free throw line as Crittenden misses a pair. Mutombo, Scola, Battier, McGrady, Alston. Starting 5 in there for Houston. McGrady backs down against Kyle Lowry. Lowry teaming with Mike Conley and Javaris Crittenden, so a small lineup along with Rudy Gay and Darko Milicic. And a 3 from a corner. Shane Battier puts it in. Battier with 13, averaging 8.5, but a lot of people here in Houston feel he's playing the best ball of his career. Rudy's 3-try is short. Darko taps out. Rudy will attack the rim and throw it down. And Mutombo just waves dismissively at Rudy Gay after that dunk. Rudy's 2nd field goal.
Well, Rudy's starting to focus in. A little bit of a frustration on that dunk, which you like to see.
Well, you go from a career-high 36 and Rudy with a steal. And Scola did a good job of bodying him, and Rudy comes up a little sore.
I think he went knee to knee.
Scola was not going to allow the fast break to occur. Crittenden in the lane. And a foul called on Houston, Shane Battier. So Crittenden back to the free throw line. Meanwhile, Rudy Gay in a catcher's crouch on the other side of the floor. Take a look at this steal. Rudy's going to make the steal from Scola, and then they'll come together and see what happens. And left knee on left knee. Crittenden good with the free throw.
Well, the Rockets bring Bobby Jackson in. Interesting, they go small, and you talked about how instead of substituting for Scola, they'll just move him from the 4 spot, which is a power forward, to the 5 spot, which is the center spot, and he does just fine. When you look out there at the Grizzlies lineup, with only one tall guy, obviously Coach Adelman said, we're not giving up a whole lot. Let's put some offensive guys in. Grizzlies are starting to pick it up a little bit.
Grizzlies extending the defense. Trying to get the ball out of Shane's hands. Bobby Jackson returns to the lineup for the Rockets. 4.5 remaining in the third. McGrady for 3. Tracy McGrady, a subpar game Tuesday against Washington, only had 11 points. He's got 20 tonight. Conley all the way inside, overlaid, plenty of contact. David Jones's play on. Bobby Jackson back the other way. It's kind of an unusual move for Bobby Jackson to go from New Orleans to Houston. A trade within the division, and both teams vying for the playoffs. Grizzlies force a turnover. Crittenden for 3. Yes! Now, Javaris Crittenden, his best game as a Grizzly, 15 points tonight. Remember, his season and career high is 19. Did that as a member of the Lakers against Philadelphia. Bobby Jackson's left open, and he'll make the pay.
Well, there's a lot of people in the league you leave open. Bobby Jackson's not one of them.
Got the ultra-high Sox look, and Darko Milicic, a seeing-eye delivery from Mike Conley.
Good hands by Darko that time. That was a bullet pass by Mike. Good finish by Darko. I think Darko, ever since he and Mutombo got into it, I think it's revved him up a little bit, and he's gotten involved.
First assist for Mike Conley, had a career-high 11 against the Suns. Alston, straightaway pop from 3.
What I said earlier, the fact that he hit a couple isn't always bad because he'll keep shooting.
Crittenden to Lowry, and Kyle with the reverse, and Jay Critt with the delivery.
Well, both Javaris and Kyle picking up where they left off first half. Nothing but pace, and they're right at the front of the rim every time.
Well, Houston doesn't like to play at pace. They average only 96 points a game. It's a half-court team that'll suit them well in the playoffs. But for right now, run and gun. Oh, Conley down the middle is fouled and will go to the free throw line. Grizzlies down 23. Mike Conley.
Number 91 or number 28. And he said he talked to the Celtics yesterday, and they're all excited, and they want him to play, guys.
So, Rob, I guess the Celtics are happy.
Everybody's happy in the cooler today, Pete.
Well, there you go. And the Grizzlies will see the Celtics in a week. Coming in on Saturday night, March 7th at FedEx Forum. For a period of time there, Donald Sterling did not want to let Sam Cassell go via the buyout route, but eventually that was
save a buck or two. They, basically the Clippers are getting ready for next year, figuring out, how long Elton Brand's going to be out. Sean Livingston hopefully will come back healthy, and they'll regroup and re-go. But there's no sense keeping Cassell around, especially if he's going to give you a couple bucks back.
And I guess the question is, do you really rush? And I'm not rushing Elton Brand as McGrady hits. You're not going to rush him back, but you just shut him down for the season. I mean, what can be gained? Lowry, and that's very nearly a goaltend, but...
Well, I think you absolutely shut Elton Brand down. I mean, why not? You're just going to get so many years out of him. You want to get him at his best. You don't put him back out there. He says he's pretty close and ready to go, but 24, 25, 26 games, that's not going to get you anything. He's a workhorse. He's not going to come back out of shape next year. You don't need to get him used to playing again. He's going to play, 44 minutes the first game you come back and go for about 35. So, he doesn't need to prove himself to anybody, and I think there's just no reason to bring him back quickly.
Lowry hits a pair of free throws. These count as fast break points because of how quickly the Grizzlies advance the ball up the floor. Remember that pretty fast break from Houston? They had a 15-7 edge in fast break points. Grizzlies actually have the edge in fast break points at this point in time. Mike Conley with a pull-up in transition, boarded, and then Lowry on the knockaway. Under 2 to play in the third, 86-65. It has been all Houston from the very get-go. McGrady against Lowry, and Kyle with too much body. And McGrady will go to the free throw line as the Grizzlies are over the foul limit. Foul on Kyle is his second.
Well, when you put that many guards on the court, a lot of times you have a tough matchup, and Kyle's looking dead square in McGrady's belly button. That's a tough matchup, but of all the 3 guys on the court, that's the one I put on McGrady.
Yeah, because he's tough. He won't back down. He'll fight you.
And McGrady was good about it. He knows Kyle's in a tough spot, and he's got to body him. He kind of rubbed him on the head and pushed him away, like, get away from me. Kyle kind of laughed, but that's how you got to play. And we talked earlier, try to make it a little ugly, and that's exactly what you have to do when you're outmanned like that.
McGrady with 24 points, and believe it or not, those were his first free throws of the night. Conley to the rim.
Pete Landry's in the game now from Purdue. What a pickup, obviously, for Houston. And that's the guy they all buzz about. Anytime you talk to somebody, Elston was talking about him earlier, and he just said, man, let me tell you, this guy can really play. They like his basketball IQ. They just think they say he thinks his way around the basketball court.
And he'll go to the free throw line. Basket cutting there. And foul. Well, we saw Carl Landry in the preseason because Houston played at Memphis, and we were very impressed with his rebounding ability. 7.5 points, 5 rebounds a game. 2 seasons at Purdue was their leading scorer and rebounder as a senior for the Boilermakers. And 59.5% from the free throw line. Makes, and we'll get one more. As we remind you, the next Grizzlies Action Figurine Series giveaway is Saturday, March 8th. When the Grizzlies take on Boston, the first 3,000 fans get a Kyle Lowry action figurine. This highly collectible and unique figurine, the third and final of this series. Get your tickets today at FedEx Forum box office, all Ticketmaster locations, online at Grizzlies.com, or by phone 888-HOOP. Free throws down by Landry. Under a minute remaining, third quarter. Lowry on the pitch up. Conley in and out for 3. Cardinal offensive rebound. Jay Crist thought about it. And Lowry just run off the play and out of bounds. The Grizzlies will keep with 16 on the shot clock.
Kyle was trying to split the double team there, and there just wasn't enough room, but it showed perfectly what I talk about, Pete. He threw the ball ahead, and then he went after it. If you try to dribble it through, you're going to hit arms and legs, and you push it in, and then you chase after it.
Crittenden wheels in the lane, throws up a wild double clutch. Got hit in the mouth. McGrady, empty from 3. 5 difference between the 2 clocks, and Mark Ivoroni says, let's play for 1 here. Down 90-67. Rockets 12 minutes away from extending this winning streak to 14 straight. That would be 1 shy of tying the all-time franchise high. They've had a couple of 15-gamers in franchise history. Conley with the 3, and Mike Conley doing a good job, Sean, in the second half of bouncing back from a very, very subpar first half. McGrady against the clock is fouled. A 2-shot foul, Javaris Crittenden.
I really thought it was backcourt, Pete. Of course, I'm the only one hollering about it, so maybe not. But when Tracy McGrady was coming to catch that basketball, he left from the backcourt. But let's see, it's a .5 on the shot clock. You cannot create this foul. Not exactly sure where they saw.
Not a lot of contact there.
If you're down 1 right now,
you're screaming.
I guarantee you Coach Ivoroni's throwing water coolers, everything on the court. But right now you're just playing to get better. And a call doesn't make a break what goes on. So Grizzlies played a tough first part of the third quarter.
Then they've really turned it around in a big way.
Well, and what you see now is a team that's a little bit more wide open. I think Bobby Jackson will help them there, but there's a lot of room in the paint now with these guys.
Luther head for 3. Gay, Milicic, Lowry, Crittenden, and Cardinal, the 5 on the floor for the Grizzlies. And Kyle just lost his footing. And what a pass. Austin got it to Luther head. Crittenden back defending, volleyballed into the stand.
How about that hustle by Jake Crittenden?
Yeah.
Gee whiz, keep your eye on this, Pete. He leaves, and he's got to hang. Look, that's hang, and then he gets it. It's an athletic move by Javaris.
Tipped it out. Houston has it. 11 on the shot clock. Bobby Jackson. So Javaris Crittenden, at 20 years of age, he's been everywhere tonight. 23 minutes, 15 points, and a couple of assists. Lowry with a lob for Rudy. Oh, what a tough catch and turn by Rudy off glass. Rudy scoreless in the first half, 7 points here in the second half. 4 rebounds as well. Luther Head keeps shooting, but really a struggle from him tonight. 1 of 8.
And the one he hit was one that Tracy McGrady passed up to give him a wide open look in the corner for a 3.
Juan Carlos Navarro checks in. The La Bamba floater off the back iron. Luther Head just 1 of 8 from the floor. Will set up Battier. The dish to Landry. Carl Landry seeing his first action against the Grizzlies this season, and Kyle Lowry, an offensive foul. Shane Battier getting in Kyle's way and baiting him into an offensive foul, but this is just good sharing of the basketball. Landry with the finish, the setup by Battier, his second assist on the night. Bobby Jackson, a screen roll with Landry. Head will keep on firing.
He has not gotten discouraged, has he?
Well, he's either without a conscience or unconscious. I'm not sure which.
Don't ask me to decide.
Austin with the penetration move. Lowry boards. Quick outlet. Crittenden to the rim. Laid it up and laid it in. Well, if you pull something positive out of this ball game for the Memphis Grizzlies, and when you're down basically 20 points the majority of the game, positives may be hard to come by, but this is a bright light. Javaris Crittenden can tie his career high with a free throw make here. I beg your pardon, he's got 17.
Well, what Javaris has done is just, stuck his head down and refuses to give in when someone's in front of him. And Houston's kind of backed down to him. They've gotten out of the way, and he's taken advantage by the fact he's just gotten to the front rim. But he hit a 3 too, so he's opened his game up today from both inside and outside.
Well, figure this: the Grizzlies with 2 reserves of 18 apiece. Lowry and Crittenden 18 apiece. No Grizzlies starter has double figures. Landry, good deep position. Lowry trying to battle, but that's a mismatch size-wise and strength-wise.
Well, you can see why the Rockets are just crazy about Landry.
Lob for Darko, too tall. Luther Head wants to shoot, and he'll shoot from the free throw line. Foul on Milicic. 4th on Darko. Luther Head 1 of 9 from the floor, but 5 of 6 from the free throw line. And conversation, and I believe a technical on Shane Battier. Been a pretty physical game.
Technical foul, number 31, Shane Battier.
Not sure what precipitated Shane's outburst. Juan Carlos will shoot the technical.
Don't know how many technicals Shane gets in a year, but if it's more than one, I'll be surprised.
I think he hit his quota.
I think he maxed out. Interesting to see. He and Javaris kind of got in a little issue. Let's see. There's Shane in the corner. There's Javaris. There's the pick. A lot of contact in basketball, and Shane wasn't happy about it, but
that means he'll be on Rob Fisher's next report.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they bumped knees because Shane appeared to be favoring it in any event.
Well, Luther Head gets to the free throw line, knocks one down. Between Luther Head and Rayford Austin, there's been a lot of missed shots. Rayford hit his first 3, then went forever. I don't know if he's hit another one. Then Luther hit that one first half, and other than free throws, he hadn't hit anything. But Bobby Jackson hit some, and Landry's obviously taking care of the middle. It's a very small lineup, obviously, in Houston.
Austin and Head are combined 5 for 17 from the floor. Austin got the knockaway, but the Grizzlies keep 10 on the shot clock. Brings us to an officials timeout.
Have the autograph, your personal autograph table set up? That was nice that you did last year. Big line.
No, very
I
small.
thought you were
line.
giving out like free kisses or something. No, well, there's just autographs.
No, just autographs.
Very
Kwame
good, though.
Brown on for the first time tonight. Rudy Gay gets that one to trickle in. It has been a rough go for Rudy Gay tonight. 4 for 13, has not gotten to the free throw line tonight. Carl Landry, a native of the Milwaukee area. Played a couple years at Vincennes Junior College. Battier with a miss before transferring to Purdue for his final 2 years. Grizzlies with Navarro, Kwame Brown, Javaris Crittenden, Rudy Gay, Kyle Lowry. Rudy down the middle against Shane Battier. Can't get the finger roll to fall. Couldn't follow it. Lots of white jerseys around the backboard. Grizzlies will go home to take on Utah tomorrow night. 3 of their next 4 are in Memphis, broken only by a single game trip Tuesday to Chicago. And Landry, the emphatic dunk. And a foul called on Kwame Brown.
Pete Landry's explosive.
But he couldn't get off the bench before because of Yao Ming.
Well, watch this finish. Let me tell you, that's a pretty good shot by Kwame, and Landry finished.
And probably even taking some minutes away from Chuck Hayes.
Well, that's probably where they're coming from. Late in the game, they still like to use Chuck early because he'll get other people in foul trouble. He'll maintain that position through the shift. But offensively, Landry's been doing a nice job of scoring.
And you don't want Chuck Hayes on the free throw line late in the game.
Right.
Kick ball. Grizzlies keep 15 on the clock. We were talking about the Grizzlies going home 3 of their next 4, but then 5 of 6 and 8 of 11 away from home. Grizzlies will have the bags packed most of the month of March. And while February has been a great month for Houston, soon to be 13-0, only the second undefeated month of their franchise's history, the Grizzlies have only 1 win to show for their February efforts. Jackson with a miss, and a rebound out of bounds to the Grizzlies. The overall winning streak for the Rockets at 13, about to go to 14. In case you're wondering, their last loss, January 27th to Utah. And the Grizzlies will see the Jazz tomorrow night at FedEx Forum, 7 o'clock start. Kwame Brown against Landry. Alston. After he hit those first 3, it's been a lot of nothing for Ray for Alston. 2-on-1, Lowry lands for Rudy. And Rudy Gay, the double-figure streak rolls on.
Well, that's a nice second half. He only has 11, but when you put it in the context, that's half of a 22 game. And a good recovery by Rudy. Good job by Kyle Lowry getting him involved. If you remember earlier, he threw him a nice lob for a layup. That Kyle probably could have shot that, but he knew Rudy probably needed a little pick-me-up. Crowd not happy with Rudy on that one, but it was a clean play. Grabbed him, didn't throw him down, anything like that. That's a perfectly good play.
Rudy, his 3rd foul. He will come to the bench. Casey Jacobson is on for the first time since February 2nd when he appeared in a game against the Utah Jazz.
Landry's not a good free throw shooter, but shooting well tonight. That's what we talked about. I think Kyle had a play here, but I really think he wanted to get Rudy involved. Kyle's having a great game, and he wants his good buddy to pick it up, and I think he did a nice job of getting Rudy involved here second half. Landry
does not look like a rookie. He was drafted in the 2nd round, 31st overall by Seattle, and was traded here. Daryl Morey, the new general manager, taking over from Carroll Dawson, who had been a fixture and remains a consultant, and Crittenden with a spectacular move, and Jay Critt a new career high with 20 points. I tell you, Javaris in 28 minutes, 8 of 15 from the floor, 3 of 5 from the line. Solid all-around effort. Luther Head finally hits another one from outside.
And I'm guessing these are probably the most minutes for Javaris this year. You can see he's hanging on, but he does not want to come out because he knows he's got a good game going. But I guarantee you the front of the plane will be quiet in his section because he will be sleeping.
Juan Carlos with 8. And the Grizzlies, another game in 24 hours at home against Utah. Landry. Kwame Brown wrestles it free, picked up by Casey. Kyle leaking out. Spiked by Rafer Alston, and Javaris is there to finish it up. Huge game for Javaris tonight, 22 points. 104-86. And this was a situation where Javaris had shot 1 of 10 over the previous 2 games. But making the most of his opportunity, Grizzlies got down early by 22. Jackson got loose with a dribble. Kyle on the pickup. Double clutches. Blocked by Battier, who is averaging more than a block a game. A new season high for blocks for the Houston Rockets. Landry. Tell you what, you got to love his game. And a big smile from the rookie out of Purdue.
Well, Purdue had a nice run in the tournament, and obviously he was a good part of it.
Landry with 15 points. His career high is 22. And the Rockets will call for time. 4:21 remaining. 106-86. Rockets by 20. Javaris Crittenton a new career high. 22.
Stick with our 4 keys to the game, because this team really is one that if they can get off the deck right away, they hang with guys because they play hard. But when you get down that many, playing hard is nice. It doesn't get you to catch up.
Grizzlies 2 and 27 when trailing after 1 quarter. Rockets win it wire to wire. Lead it wire to wire. 116-95. They get 25 from Tracy McGrady. They get 15 from Luis Scola, Luther Head,